Spark L&D podcast. I'm Ina Olimskaya, and this series is for L&D professionals who want to grow their impact, and for business leaders, how L&D can drive performance. Each episode shares practical tools and insight that will help you to spark L&D with confidence. And hi and welcome, Katya.
Hi, Ina. Thank you for having me.
I will introduce you just in a second. But for our listeners, Katya will help us to deep dive into today's episode topic. We will talk about the skill that is absolutely essential for all L&D professionals who really want to grow their impact. And I am talking about business partnership. So today, we will discover business partnership and we will discuss it with a business leader. We will try to understand how business leaders who work quite close with L&D function, but came outside of this function, see learning, what they expect from training programs, and how we, L&D professionals, can better align with business strategy in order to deliver real business value. And now, let me introduce Katya, who is leading now cross-regional commercial teams in 25 markets. And Katya always was a part of top-line functions, first in marketing, and then in sales. And now she's leading a team, being head of sales, who actually uses programs developed by L&D professionals. Again, thank you, Katya, for coming, and super happy to see you here today.
Likewise, Ina. Very happy to join the conversation.
You're actually the first business leader who attended Spark L&D podcast. Before, we had opportunity to connect and meet with different L&D professionals. So it's kind of a new experience for me as well. And I look forward to deep dive into business partnership with you.
The same for me. Though I work with L&D team quite close, for me it's the first time we have this conversation. So excited to talk to it.
Okay. Then let's get started. Sometimes I heard, but also witnessed that some business leaders look at different training programs as a cost and not as an investment. So they think that training is a cost, it's not an investment. What is your perspective on this statement?
Well, first of all, I want to say I don't support this statement. But we can think together why business leaders can consider it as a cost. If you look at the learning programs through the lens of immediate impact, if you compare it with a marketing campaign or promotional campaign, for sure you will see a delayed return on investment. So if you don't take enough time for the learning to bring the benefits to the business, it will never be in the first line of your investments. Second of all, it's important to have a clear objective, aligned objective with L&D program. If there is no clear business outcome or KPI or disconnection with the strategic goals, the learning program can be felt as a nice to have rather than something very important that will contribute to your business growth. And number three for me is not meeting the expectations in terms of maturity levels of the teams. So if you create just a one program fits it all, it might not bring the benefits you want to the business.
Okay, that's quite a lot of different insights. So, and what I also hear, it's not that they don't believe in L&D and see the benefits, but it's how we communicate those benefits. We need to be able to show connection with the business impact and demonstrate the KPIs, but also the impact is not visible just after the training. We can't say, oh, if you go to this sales training, your market share will grow plus 2% in 1 week. It's not the case. There is time needed to see it. And you also mentioned that if we really want to see the value of the training program, it shouldn't be like one solution that fits everyone. There are different team members.
Definitely.
And then it came to my mind the second question, actually. What should the training program have inside so that you can say that, oh, this is really valuable for my team? And maybe we can take example of your sales team.
Okay, if we think of my team, where I have different maturity levels of sales
Mhm.
professionals,
Mhm.
of course, the learning programs for them will be totally different. If you look at the young professional who recently joined the team,
Mhm.
uh, I would focus on their professional skills. Think of being able to operate through our company master data, uh, files, professional tools. But also, they need to develop their hard skills in sales, like category management, territory
Mhm.
management, P&L management, excellence in execution, and so forth. So for this group of people, it's very clear what they need to do to develop in their professional career. When it comes to more mature sales professionals, here I would focus more on their soft skills, on the management skills, leadership, cross-functional leadership, negotiation, stakeholder management. Uh, and even think of the individual coaching to help them to build their career plans for the next steps.
Mhm. Okay, that's a very interesting approach. So what I hear and what I understand is that actually, as a business leader, you can see the benefit of training program, but it really should be linked with the need of your team and also eventually with the need of the department or function where you work. And the situation when there is like already programs that waiting on the shelf and one solution fits to everyone, it's already something outdated and not linked with current business needs.
Definitely. And don't take me wrong, the trainings that are there on the shelf are also needed,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you enter your career, because there are some simple trainings that can enhance your professional
Okay.
skills. But the L&D should not stop there. It should go much further.
Yeah, yeah, that's actually true. And quite often I hear also requests from countries, oh, this is a kind of fundamental knowledge or fundamental programs. We want to go into advanced area. What else you can provide? That's actually I can relate to that. Okay, then let's move further. When we L&D professionals start designing any learning solution, before we move to this creative space of building something new, we actually need to have buy-in from business leaders because actually what we build it's for your team. I don't work personally right now with your team, but in overall, we build the solutions for sales, marketing, medical affairs, and other functions. But before we start designing anything, we need, as I said, we need to have buy-in, and but to get that buy-in, we also need to have like connection with business leaders. We need to build trust and credibility. So what we as L&D professionals should do to get this credibility and yeah, change the way how you looked at us.
Again, I'm sharing my personal experience, personal opinion. Um, what would get my buy-in when I speak to L&D professional who is offering me a training program, or when I am in need of a training program and I select the L&D
Mhm.
counterpart for that.
Mhm.
Uh, I would definitely look at the L&D professional who understands the business and makes a clear link between the learning program and business impact
Mhm.
at the beginning. When it comes to development of the program itself, it's the ability of the L&D professional to co-create together with sales leaders or with any other professional leaders, and to be able to adapt and the training program based on business reality, team needs, and bring practical learning to the team. And what is also important at the end of the training is the ability of the L&D professional to follow through, making sure there is a post-training support, coaching, and most importantly, practicality in
Mhm.
our day-to-day work.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Katya, for sharing. It's a lot of things in your to do list to get credibility and to build it to build trust with you. But actually this topic about the business impact and the outcomes after training programs pop up not only in this episode but also in two previous episodes, and I'm now thinking that it's a kind of hot topic, how we can measure impact of learning interventions. I think it can be one of the episodes for the next season. But thanks for
Definitely.
brainstorming and thinking together about that. Mm, Maybe let's move further. Can you share an example of a situation or like training where L&D made a real difference to your team? So what was the situation or training program? What happened there? And how that collaboration went between your team and L&D function?
Yes, I will share with you the example of the program that we're actually living right now. So it's still, the program is still ongoing and we will still see the benefits, but I have a very great impression of where we are so far and big expectations in the future. And now I will start with the note that my team works a lot in cross-functional teams.
Mm-hmm.
And they need to wear two hats. One is the sales professional hat, and the other one is the cross-functional team lead, leading the people who are not reporting to you directly in the organizational structure. We are a fast-growing and successful business. And what we started to realize that what has brought us to where we are will not necessarily bring us further.
Mm-hmm.
So we, together with other colleagues, with other department managers, were looking for a program that will help us to give new tools and develop new ways of working within this cross-functional team.
That's not easy.
It's not an easy one, and it's not a hard skill that you can just train, prepare, and share with the team. But it was really, and we really had a need of co-creation, of looking at how the business is. And it was not the emergency situation where something is going absolutely wrong and you need to save us. No, we are at the moment of a successful business, but we want to look 5 years from now. Can we grow faster, more efficient, without enlarging the team? What can we do within our team with differently in the way of working to make faster decisions, to make more efficient actions when it comes to the business. So we call this training a cross-functional team journey, where we put this team together and we started to look at how we're working. And sharing between the team, what can we do differently? Where do we see a bottleneck right now? And how could we evolve to make it much faster? And one of the outcomes was that we have looked at the decisions which are made, created sort of a decision grid, and made a very clear distinction between who makes a decision at which point of time, where we need to be as a whole team, where it needs to be strictly a function leader, or where we need to bring it further to a higher leadership team. We made it as written rules for all of us. And as a next step, we are following these rules. And we already see by implementing this, our decisions are made faster. There are less questions asked when it comes to a cross-functional team. And we strongly believe that this will enhance our business, because now our decisions are made faster, the work is done more efficient. We spend less time in fighting, trying to explain to each other why this decision was not involving one of the team members. So again, we're still living it. We need to see how it works, but I have huge hopes and that this program will have very soon the business impact on the way we do our work right now.
Thank you, Katya, for sharing. And it's actually a very interesting example, because when I was thinking about question that I can ask you, I thought to deep dive into like training program that your team went through. And I expected to hear something about selling techniques, negotiation, territory business planning. And now I hear this example that is beyond my expectations, to be honest. It shows actually that it's important if you want to really partner with the business. Of course, it's good to have your assumptions, but it's good to check with your business leader and connect with the reality and what they really want. So thank you for actually reminding me about that. Listen more careful the business leaders with whom we work. Before we wrap up, I want to ask you one more question, and I ask this question each guest. It's about the advice. What recommendations can you give to L&D professional who wants to shift the perception of their function, so and change the positioning from L&D function that delivers content and does just facilitation to a function that really goes alongside with the business? So what would you recommend to such L&D professional?
When you want to get the job, when you want to get the attention of a function professional and work with you, think of a real business impact of your learning program. How will it inform the business performance, team collaboration, leadership effectiveness? Make sure that it's practical, that whatever you do is actionable and adaptable to the market realities.
Thank you.
And maybe also follow through with the team leads to ensure that this program is working.
Okay, it sounds like a clear action plan. And if I also summarize what we discussed earlier today, so if, for example, L&D professionals want to really grow their business partnership skill, start with business priorities, understand what the business wants, and then think how L&D can help to close the gaps and achieve those goals. Second, also I heard it through today's episode, talk in the language that your business leaders use, not about skills development, but performance, productivity, team efficiency. So the language that is more familiar for more senior stakeholders. And last but not least, work together with business leaders and their teams to design something together, and especially involve them in providing feedback on early stage of your design or any training program, when you still can make adjustment and create situations or simulations that describe the everyday activities and life of the team.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And I hope that this takeaway help you, our dear listeners, to rethink the way how you engage business leaders, and also inspire you to show up as a trusted business partner, not just a training facilitator or content provider. And with that, before we close, Katya, anything else to add for our listeners?
Just want to say thank you, Ina. Thank you for starting this podcast. Thank you for inviting me and allowing me to share the thoughts. And just want to say L&D plays a huge role in the business growth. So for the listeners, don't underestimate, and make sure you work very closely with L&D professionals to gear up your business.
Thank you, Katya, and thank you for joining today and sharing your perspective on the role of L&D team and the role that it plays in the organization, and also helping to think how we can be more connected with the commercial teams. And for our listeners, if this episode helped you to see learning from the eyes of the business leader, or gave you some ideas how to connect learning with commercial strategy, take a moment to reflect. What will be one thing you'll do differently next time when you need to present your learning initiative to a business stakeholder? Share your answers in the comments under this video, and we look forward to hear from you and continue this conversation. And with that, stay tuned on new episodes, follow us, and take part in conversation. Thank you for watching, listening, and we see you in 2 weeks.